what the hell is going on with women in their 40s? In particular, what is going on in this transition, and therefore, how do we be with our partners as perhaps their entire character and sense of what's important in their lives actually changes?
Yeah. It's really that transition to 40 really starts at 35 for women, my intuition on this,
Mm.
because that's when some of their girlfriends, same age, have babies now, married, launched into a career perhaps, and they're questioning that about themselves. A lot of women in this modern age, maybe in the ages past too. The kind of the running joke around in this day and age, well, women that are 35 is, should I freeze my eggs or not? And it's kind of a joke for the women, but it's kind of half serious, and
Real.
because we as men don't have to contemplate that at 35. We could start a family at 45.
Mm.
And women really have this is well discussed, and we're adding nothing to the conversation, but they really starting to think about their life. And if you're in a relationship with somebody and it comes to that, they've got to really question their intentions, your intentions, what they want, what they truly want. Maybe they don't know, but there becomes a time limited question that they have to start thinking about certain things. When they're 20, 23, 22, 25, 25, they have a bit of a crisis because they're looking around and wondering, am I with the right guy? If they're, that sort of thing. Am I in the right careers where women are starting to think when they're 25? Am I doing the right thing? Am I faking it? Just like men do. But there's these milestones that men hit, which are differently hit for women, because we still have, for better or worse, we still have a longevity in our plans. We can start a family at 55 if we wanted to, So there's a lot of life questions that kick in for a woman in those milestone years. And if you're in a relationship with her, you feel that. You feel the questioning in her spirit, and you might be wondering what's going on with her, because she's distracted or distant or contemplating or looking out the window and wistfully wondering about herself, and you don't know what it is. If you're not paying attention, you're not aware, you just think, oh, I don't know what she's doing, which is what a lot of guys do, and they just ignore it. So if you're in a relationship, let's just imagine you're in a relationship with someone like that, and you're paying attention, you can sit in the conversation with her without trying to solve it for her, but just being aware that she's going through some kind of hesitating, transitionary thinking, and just be present. That's the best advice I can give. And pay attention, be sweet to her, be tolerant if she's, angsty, and just the old cliche, hold space for her. Now, women who are single, you're starting to date one. The guy said, "What is the deal with women in their 40s?" That was the question, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got all these different. Life is what happens when you're making other plans, and so you turn around and you're 40, and you didn't get what you wanted with your career, with your relationship, with potential family and children, and there's a real burden around that for women and for men, I guess. So you're dating personalities that have seen disappointment, had excited hopes that got dashed, and are more seriously thinking about life. So what's the deal with women in the 40s? Same thing as what's the deal with men in their 40s? you know, they're wondering about their path through life, and is it the right path? Did I choose the right thing? It's the cliche of a man having a midlife crisis and buying the red sports car,
Mm.
because they're trying to they're trying to determine, do I still have that testosterone driven mojo? Do I still have life force? Am I still attractive to women? You know, I'll cover my paunch, my bald spot, and buy a red sports car. It's the same thing as women, and women are, renovating everything. They're injecting and uh, trying to maintain youth. They've done it for thousands of years. So have men. So I don't know. I don't really have an answer. All I can think is that we're all on a journey. We're all trying to find our path. We're trying to find relevance. Trying to find relevance, and we're devoted to our own journey. And women are too, but maybe they don't know, and maybe men don't know, and we just flounder day to day and wonder why it's not going the way we planned. As opposed to the Amirati archetype, which is saying life's not going to go the way I planned, but I'm going to step up every day and try and head down a path towards beauty. That's all I know. And whatever comes my way, I'll just keep going. I just shake it off, shake my hand in the mirror in the bathroom, and say it's going to be okay, and keep going.